Hey, welcome back to Blue Chair Conversations. I'm your host, Erin Bear. This is where we have real, authentic, raw conversations, whether they are hard to discuss or they're pleasant to discuss. It really doesn't matter. We have them here. Anything can happen. I can say anything. Well, and usually I do. So I've been struggling with trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about for this episode. I'll be honest. I've been struggling. I've been putting it off, and honestly, I've been going through a lot in my life. I had lost my job last year, and I found another job, and I really fell in love with it. I fell in love with what I was doing, the creative side of it, the coaching side of it, all of it. I really, really loved it, and everything was going pretty well. I actually met a really great friend that is now a friend for life for me, and we worked really well together. But it wasn't always rainbows and butterflies. My friend and I, we were cool. My work bestie, we were good. It was some toxicity on the management side, and I'll be real, it sucked. It really sucked, and I was really struggling with some mental health, some deep thoughts that I had to sit with for a long time, for a few months. Like, it just kept getting worse, and it kept getting worse. And here I am. I'm going to spill the beans, spill the tea, whatever the kids say these days. And I really debated whether or not I should. And then I thought about it. Well, my podcast is all about having those tough conversations, being truthful, being honest, and being authentic. And I just couldn't hide behind the fact that everything wasn't okay. And here I am. So let me give you a little backstory. A couple of months ago, my work bestie and I, we talked and we discussed and we had big plans. But things just weren't aligning with our management. And we had some tough decisions to make. And she got pregnant. And she had to take care of her health. And I am one that advocates for health all day long. I will always tell you, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself first. And as I was telling her that, I realized I needed to take care of myself too. So I started planting the seeds. I've been a personal trainer for over a decade. I've been a golf teaching professional for well over 2 decades. I've had my own business for, a long time. I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always loved pouring into others. And I've always loved being that tough love coach, regardless, whether it's adults, whether it's children, whether it's about mindset, whether it's golf, whether it's personal training, whatever I'm coaching you on or talking you through, I'm going to be that tough love person. I'm going to tell you how it is, and I'm going to be direct. And some people say, Erin, that's a little hard. Well, I'm not here to soften things up. I had a tough childhood growing up, and people were mean to me, and I was bullied, and I was teased. And I stayed silent until I found my voice in 2019, 2 years after the Me Too movement started. So why am I telling you all this backstory? I had to start being tough with myself. I had to look in the mirror and say, hey, can I do this another day? So my work bestie, she decided to put her notice in and she quit. And her and I had many conversations about me. Am I going to stay? Am I going to keep being abused, taken advantage of, undervalued? But you see, back up to a couple of months ago. Remember, my mom died in March. And I really loved my job at that time. And I did get the space to grieve, but not very long. And things just kept getting harder and harder. I kept waking up with this dread. After my mom died, I realized my life wasn't as fulfilling as I thought it would be. Here I am, 42 years old, and I thought I'd be a lot further along. Honestly, I thought I'd be close to being a millionaire. Let's be real. Who does not want to be a millionaire, right? And work was getting harder. It was taking a strain on my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health, and, my friend by May gave her notice. But you see, when my mom died, something told me I needed to fill my life with adventure. I needed to do the things that filled me up, which was pouring into others. It's always been that. I've always looked out for other people. And once in a while, I would forget to look out for myself. And that's exactly what started happening. So fast forward to April, I started planting seeds so I could live the life that I want to live and live by a schedule I choose, not dictated by anybody else. So I decided to really dive back into personal training and mindset coaching, my You Are More program. I'll drop the link in the comment section, or the description section rather, since this is a podcast. But I want people to see that if you have goals, you have to approach it with the whole person, whether it be weight loss, whether it be you want to gain more strength or flexibility, whether you want to have a better mindset, whether you want to do a career shift, whatever it might be, you need to approach it in a whole person manner. Because if one area is not aligned, the rest of it's not going to be in alignment. And I started seeing that for myself. So I started planting seeds, getting more out of my comfort zone where I used to be comfortable, and that was going live on Facebook, posting every day on Facebook, discussing my journey. And I wasn't discussing my journey very much because, well, honestly, I was embarrassed, where I was not. And I realized the journey is where people learn to trust you. The journey that you share and the stories that you reveal about yourself and your life is where people realize, oh, I'm not alone. So here I am, trusting the unknown and planting the seeds and wanting to do the things. Heck, I started my podcast, and that's when I realized I probably have to get out of my job. I probably need to leave it. Even though aspects of it filled me up, a lot of it drained me, more so than it filled my cup. And it's scary. It's scary to think that you thought you had something and you're getting it taken away. And before it gets taken away, you choose to walk away. So come May, my coworker put her notice in, and it was getting really, really hard. Not just for her as she was trying to exit, but for me. And one day I had enough. And I could not live in the state of chaos that I was living in. So I decided to walk away. I walked away from my part-time hourly job. I was really good at it too. Really good at it. And I helped that company grow and reach things that they've never reached before. But it was toxic and it was no good for me. So I had several conversations with people I trusted. And I knew what I had to do. I knew it in my heart, I knew it in my gut, and my gut is never wrong. But sometimes we tend to ignore that intuition that we have because we're so scared of the unknown. And as you know, if you've been following me for a while, if you've heard me talk or speak, or you're on Facebook, or you've watched this podcast, you know that I do believe in God. I believe that there's a higher power, that there's a universe. And I had to have a deep conversation about what is it that I want from this life of mine. So I had many conversations. I had conversations with my husband, my mother-in-law, my really good friend, my previous coworker, bestie, and I chose to walk away from a job that wasn't serving me. And I decided I'm going all in on myself. I'm tired of going all in on others and letting their dreams grow and their aspirations grow. I'm going to go in all in, trusting the unknown. So I took the leap. I left my job, and here I am. So the whole point of this conversation is, what are you afraid of? What do you need to trust yourself on and take that leap? It's scary. It's not something that we all think one day, I'm just going to jump off a cliff and go for it. We could plummet to the floor and splat all over the place. Or it's the perfect thing and we get a gust of wind and we fly and we soar all over. But you got to trust the unknown. You got to trust the process. And it's a scary thing. But you also have to have people in your corner that you know have your best interest at heart. And they're there. You just have to be willing to open up to them, tell them what's going on, and have those hard conversations. I had many conversations in one day, in the day that I walked away. But I also had conversations leading up to that day. And I kept spinning my wheels, thinking that maybe I'm the one who's going insane rather than, knowing what I needed to do. Knowing that walking away would be the best decision I could make for myself and for others around me. It wasn't until I had a conversation with my best friend Christina, and we were talking. And she was in my kitchen, and I was trying to prepare dinner, but I was just so stressed out. And I was just pacing back and forth. And I couldn't even make a decision as simple as, what am I going to eat for dinner? Which is supposed to be a simple decision. Because I was so stuck in what's going to happen tomorrow. With my job. With my manager. and I was literally sick to my stomach. And my friend looks at me and she goes, Erin, you've been through some really tough stuff in your life, but I've never seen you like this. You have had moments of deep despair, and you've always rose above and rised up, but you're stuck. You're stuck. And I looked at her and I was like, I don't know what to do. I was in a complete frozen panic. But she's somebody who loves me deeply. She's a really good friend, and I've been there for her, and she's been there for me. And it was in that moment where she said, you need to quit. I've never seen you like this before, and you are one of the strongest women I know. But this is eating you alive. So I took that conversation, and I went to bed that night, and then the next morning I woke up in complete anxiety. So I had a conversation with my husband, had a conversation with my friend again, and I had a conversation with my mother-in-law, and a conversation with my friend from that job that had already left. Our power went out that day, was disconnected for some odd reason. So I couldn't work, I couldn't plug in. And I let my boss know. And I was just so worked up and so frustrated, and I just did not know how to move forward or what to do. I was frozen for the day, and I knew in that moment, after I had all these conversations, I knew what I had to do. I had to leave. I had to go ahead and trust the unknown, because what was currently going on in my life was not working for me. And it was scary. It was miserable. It was wreaking havoc on my life, mentally, emotionally, physically. So I knew what I had to do. So I decided I was going to do what was best for me and not worry, as much as I could, not worry about what others would think. So I quit my job. I went to my friend's house. I wrote my resignation, and I left it all out on the table. And the moment I decided to trust the unknown was the moment that God and the universe started delivering. It was confirming me that things that were happening, old clients were starting to reach back out, and people were starting to comment on my posts, and things were just awakening for me. All because I decided to go ahead and put my faith in the unknown, trusting the unknown. And it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Because I've got bills to pay. I've got obligations, financially, personally, all these things. And I was just so worried about all of that. Like, how's it going to work out? What am I going to do? Where am I going to, what if this, and I had to stop what-ifing into the negative energy side of it. And I had to start looking at it as, what if it works out? And trusting the unknown and knowing that this was going to fill my cup, pouring into others, getting my business back into booming again, helping others lose the weight, get their mindset right, make those tough decisions, have those tough conversations, to be real and do the things, as scary as it may be, that are going to better serve you. The things that I do for others and the conversations I have for others, I had to finally have with myself. And when we have to look in the mirror and look at ourselves and do what's best for us, it's scary. Come on, you guys. We usually want people to tell us what to do. I knew what I had to do. I was just so frozen. So as soon as I had the conversations with all the people I trusted, and I made the decision to take the leap and trust the unknown, things started opening up. I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. My energy became more alive. I started becoming more of myself again. The shame started going away, and I let people know, hey, this is what I did. And you know what they said to me? The people that loved me, and the people that cared about me, and people I've never even met in person. I am so proud of you. We have an energy about us, and when something isn't serving us, that energy is drained from us without us even realizing it. We think we're just peachy and happy as can be, but people see it. People can feel it. And my life started shifting the moment I stepped all into trusting the unknown. So for you, what is going on in your life right now that maybe isn't serving you? Maybe that is just sucking you dry or taking life from you that you want to live. Is it a career? Is it a relationship? Is it a decision you have to make that you're so desperately afraid to make? I'm here to tell you that you need to reach out to the people that love you, that support you, that care about you. And if you feel that you don't have anybody like that, you reach out to me. I'll be that person for you. I'll cheer you on and say, "We'll figure it out. Just make the decision." You know, my dad has this saying, and it's a saying that, you know, men can get away with, right? And it's either, you know, we're real and raw here, so it's either poop, but a different word, or get off the pot, right? So you have to either draw that line in the sand and cross over it and leave all that stuff behind that line. Or you can stay behind that line and feel stuck and feel drained and not yourself. But you only have yourself to blame for that. And if I would have decided to continue to go, oh, it's going to get better, and keep making excuses for something that just was inexcusable, I would not be having this conversation with you right now. We need the people in our life that love us and support us and care about us. We need to love them enough to let them love us. And to have those real conversations. If my friend wouldn't have been honest with me, I wouldn't have known that I was in such a turmoil, in such a chaos. She literally was like, "Erin, I have never seen you like this, and I've known you for years, and you've gone through some really hard stuff, tougher than this, and this is what's eating you alive right now? Stop. Don't do this to yourself." And you see, I had just helped her with something in her life that was just as terrible. And I was able to give her that advice so she could step up and trust the unknown. It's pretty interesting that her and I are in sync, I guess you would say, with what's going on. It's very different. Two totally different scenarios, but very similar in what they have done to our soul and to us. And you guys, the moment I trusted the unknown, the universe, God, started showing up. He's always been there. I mean, he's always been there. But he started showing me, this, Erin, is what you're supposed to be doing. This, let me show you. Let me give you this. Because I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always enjoyed being my own boss. Anytime I've ever worked for anybody else, it has never been like the greatest thing. I'm very intimidating, and I'm very creative, and I always want to be perfect. And I am not perfect by any means, but I strive for that perfection. And that comes from a very old-rooted trauma. But what I do know is anytime that, yep, I had to pause it. Anytime I have trusted myself and done what brings me happiness, whether that be my career, my personal life, I'm on a high. I have a vibration that attracts what I need and what I desire and what I want and what I'm here for. We got to get out of our own way. We have to get out of our own way, because if we don't get out of our own way, we cannot see the possibilities for us. And the possibilities are endless. I know that that's a cliche saying, that possibilities are endless. The opportunities are endless, but they truly are if you allow yourself to trust yourself and trust in the unknown. Because what if it works out? What if it works out? I want you to ask yourself, if I make this decision that serves me, that's better for me, even though as hard as it may be. What if it works out? What if it does? I can tell you right now, proof is in the pudding. Never understood that saying, but proof is in what's showing up for me in my life today. I'm able to help and pour into others and create my own schedule. And it's starting to just flow to me. It's amazing. I just have to trust the unknown. Trusting does not mean that there's no fear. Does not mean that I don't have doubt. Trusting doesn't mean that I don't wake up and like, oh my God, did I make the right decision? But I feel it in my soul, and I know that I made the right decision. But it doesn't mean I'm not scared. You know, it's not about being an imposter or self-doubting that, because I have so much to offer and so much to give and so much I can help others with. It's still scary. You want to feel enough. You want to feel good enough. You want to feel worthy. And I wasn't getting that where I was. So where I was and where I needed to be, that was a big leap. It was a big leap. And I know it's a big leap for you too. But I want you to know that you know yourself better than anybody, and you know what's going to make you happy, and you know that you can trust yourself. You have to trust yourself. You have to jump. I want you to jump. So, I want to invite you. Where can you shift in your world? Where can you shift in your life that's going to better serve you and allow you to shine your light in the world on your purpose, your passion, the things that drive you and make you happy, that make you want to get up in the morning and smile? For me, it's pouring into you, having conversations with you and let you know that you got this. Because after all, you are more, and I am too. So remember, trust the unknown, because what if it works out? You are more. This was Blue Chair Conversations. I'm your host, Erin Baer, and I can't wait to have a conversation with you next time. Until then, keep being your badass self.